Hello and welcome to your how-to on how to cross stitch. This is Miss Bigelow, Mariah Bigelow here, and I am going to give you a lesson on the basics of cross stitching. Today I'm going to cross stitch, I'm going to start the Minecraft Creeper cross stitch. So I've got my pattern here and the colors I'm going to need on this one. The items you should have in your kit are your pattern, a hoop, your cross stitch material, the fabric. You'll have your embroidery floss as well as a needle. So now that we have that's all set, we are going to get our embroidery floss set up. So if I look at my pattern, my first corner is going to be 704. And so you need to find your 704 color, and it should be labeled on your in your kit. And find that. For all of these colors, so fun fact, embroidery floss, in each strand there are 6 smaller pieces, and you can actually take all 6 of those pieces apart. See if we can get the iPad to focus on that. For this project and for all of the projects, you're going to need 3 of the 6 strands. So I separated mine out. I need 3. Then I'm going to pull them apart. So now I have 2, which is great. But I only need, again, one that has 3 embroidery floss strands. Then I'm going to find my needle, and I'm going to thread it through the eye. Okay, so we want our tail, we don't want our tail to come all the way down. Like, it could be about right here. Next, I'm going to get my embroidery hoop, and we are going to cross stitch the very first one. To do that, this is in our top, I'm going to start in the top left-hand corner. So we kind of want to start in the top left-hand corner, and we can move the fabric around to put it in the middle later. But we're going to stop in the top left. On the back side, you're going to go through one of the first holes, like this. I'm going to pull it through. You want to stop, of course, before this gets all the way through. In fact, I'm going to stop it here. Now, probably a good thing to do even before you do this is you want to make a knot so that your embroidery floss doesn't go right through it. So I'm going to make a knot by putting it around my finger, making an X, and then I'm going to roll it off like this. And then the knot is up here, and I'm going to pull it down like that. So now I've got a knot at the end of my embroidery floss. Now, when I pull it, it's not going to go anywhere. Now, actually, cross-stitching is quite easy. You're making a cross through every single little square. See how there's little squares? So all you're doing in cross-stitching is making an X. So from the diagonal hole, I'm going to put my needle. So now I've got a part of my X, and then I'm going to bring it up through. And you might have to turn it around to see, but you can also kind of feel it and poke it up in different spots. Trying to get it to focus here. And then we're going to put it in the diagonal one. So this is my first stitch that I made. Now I need 1, 2. I need 2 of them in the same color. So I'm going to go next door and make the same X pattern on this side, or in this square. There we go, so we made 2. Now there's different ways you can do this. You can cut it, tie a knot, and then go to the next color. What I like to do, because it takes a long time to switch in between colors, is look for another color, another part of the pattern that uses the same color. And then you're going to count. So this right here also uses the color 704, which is the one that's already on my embroidery, on my needle. And so we can count. We need to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down 1. So over 5 squares and down 1, and we're going to create another one. So we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down 1. And we will make a square, a cross stitch there. And we need 4 of them. So we're making 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we've got our 4. This little one here is this one. Got it done. Now, let's say I've done more of this 704 color. I've used up the thread, so I'm just going to cut this. Pretend we've used up all of that. You can cut it, or I'm sorry, you can tie it, tie a knot. A square knot, so tie it with an X and then tie it again. Or you can cross stitch over it, and I will show you how to do that. So let's do the next color. The next one would be this one. This is 3346, this dark color. So that's this one. I remember you only need 3 strands. So I've got my 3 strands. And then I'm going to put those strands in through my needle. Just like before, we need our little tail here. And I'm going to make a knot in the end of my embroidery floss. I wrap it around my finger, make an X, and then I roll it up. The knot is up here, so I kind of pinch the knot and I bring it down. So now there's a nice little knot at the end. And we need to stitch 2 squares to the right of my 2 squares here. So I'm going to start by doing that. Okay. Now, let's say, remember that tail of the other color that we left behind? Well, one way to really secure that it's not going anywhere is to take the loop. So I put it through, and now we've got a loop like this. We can take that tail of the other color and put it through the hoop. Like this, and then pull straight. There, so now it's kind of trapped in there. It's not going to go anywhere. And we can continue our cross stitching as we have been doing. Like that, and it looks like we can continue down below. So there's a 4 square. And that's fun. That's going to connect with the 4th square. This is where it's important, super important, that when you count, that you're counting correctly, because if you don't count them correctly when you're looking to, like if you're doing the same color, remember I counted, I could 5 over and 2 down, or 1 down. If I wouldn't have counted that correctly, I would be off in my pattern. All right, I made those 4 squares. Now I can look at, looks like I have the same color, 2 up here. So those 2 are going to be right above the squares I've already made with that other color. It's fun when you start getting colors that are touching each other, and you can kind of see the pattern come alive. All right, so I am on my way. I can continue going with my dark 3346 color until I use all those up and I need another strand. And then I can change, or I can change colors until it's all done. When you are all done, make sure it's tied. And then you might need to take off the top, take this off again and straighten it so that your pattern is in the center. And then what you can do is cut the excess off with a scissors, a nice sharp scissors, and then you'll have it. This would make for a cool thing to hang on the wall, or like a big ornament for a Christmas tree, a decoration on your desk. There's all sorts of fun things you can do with this. I hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching.